Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Cinderella. Her heart was pure, her smile was bright, and she always tried to see the good in everything. But life was not easy for Cinderella. After her dear father passed away, she was left in the care of her stepmother and two stepsisters. They were not kind. They gave Cinderella all the hard work in the house, sweeping the floors, washing the dishes, mending clothes, and carrying buckets of water. Her stepsisters wore fine gowns and ribbons, but Cinderella's clothes were old and torn. Still, she never complained. She hummed songs to herself as she worked and dreamed of a better life. One morning, an important letter arrived from the palace. The king had decided to host a grand ball for his son, the prince. Every young lady in the kingdom was invited. The stepsisters squealed with excitement, stepsisters giggling. "We shall wear our most beautiful dresses. Perhaps the prince will choose one of us." Cinderella helped them prepare, curling their hair, fastening their gowns, and tying pretty bows. As she brushed out their tangles, she whispered to herself, "Cinderella," softly, wistful. "I wish I could go too." But her stepmother only laughed. Stepmother, coldly, "You? In those rags? Stay here and finish your chores." When the house was finally empty, Cinderella sat by the fire, her heart heavy with sadness. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered her wish again. Cinderella, whispering, "Oh, how I wish I could go to the ball." Suddenly, a gentle light filled the room. A kind voice spoke. "Fairy godmother," tenderly, "do not cry, my child. You shall go to the ball." It was her fairy godmother. With a wave of her sparkling wand, magic swirled through the air. Cinderella's rags turned into a gown of shimmering silk. On her feet appeared delicate glass slippers that sparkled like stars. Outside, a pumpkin became a golden carriage, and the mice in the corner were transformed into fine white horses. Fairy godmother, kindly, "But remember, dear, when the clock strikes midnight, the magic will fade away." Cinderella rode to the palace, her heart fluttering with joy. When she stepped into the ballroom, everyone turned to stare. She was so graceful, so radiant that no one recognized her. The prince himself hurried to greet her. Prince, softly, in awe. "May I have this dance?" The music played gently as they twirled across the floor. Cinderella felt as if she were floating on air. Never in her life had she felt so happy. But soon, the great clock began to chime. Dong, dong, dong. It was midnight. Cinderella gasped, pulling away from the prince. Cinderella, breathless. "I must go!" She ran down the grand staircase, and in her hurry, one glass slipper slipped from her foot. She leapt into the carriage, and just as the clock struck 12, the magic vanished. Her gown turned back to rags, and the carriage became a pumpkin once more. All that remained was the tiny glass slipper on the palace steps. The next day, the prince declared he would marry the lady whose foot fit the slipper. Every young woman in the land tried it on, but it was far too small for the stepsisters. At last, Cinderella was called. Her stepmother tried to stop her, but the prince insisted. When Cinderella placed her foot inside the slipper, it fit perfectly. The prince's eyes lit up with joy. "Prince," softly, "you are the one I have been searching for." And so, Cinderella's kindness was rewarded. She married the prince, and they lived happily ever after. Cinderella never forgot what it was like to be lonely, so she treated everyone with love and compassion. And every night, as she looked at her glass slippers, she remembered the magic of dreams and how wishes can come true.